Welcome to the latest update on the UN Biodiversity Summit, also known as COP15, which took place in Montreal. At the end of the two-week conference, nearly 200 countries agreed to a landmark deal to protect a third of the planet for nature by 2030. This is known as the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework, and it aims to safeguard biodiversity, which refers to all the Earth's living things and the way they are connected in a complex web of life that sustains the planet. One key aspect of the framework is the 30 by 30 pledge. It is a commitment to protecting 30% of land and water by 2030. This means that governments will ensure and enable the conservation and management of at least 30% of land and sea through ecologically representative, well-connected, and equitably governed systems of protected areas and other effective area-based conservation measures. This goal is aimed at helping to stem the rising tide of extinctions that is affecting millions of species globally. Another important part of the agreement is the commitment to reducing harmful subsidies by at least $500 billion per year by the end of the decade. The text does not specify how these subsidies should be eliminated, phased out, or reformed, but it is seen as a significant step in the right direction. The conference also saw the development of a funding mechanism for digital sequence information, or DSI, which refers to digitized genetic information that is frequently used to produce new drugs, vaccines, and food products. The creation of this mechanism has been hailed as a historic victory for African states, who called for its creation before the summit. To increase international biodiversity finance, the countries at the conference also proposed the creation of a special trust fund to support the implementation of the Global Biodiversity Framework by 2023. They also urged the Global Environmental Facility to engage with multilateral development banks and international financial institutions in the design and operation of the GBF fund. Another key aspect of the framework is the recognition of the contributions of Indigenous people to the management of ecosystems and the protection of biodiversity. The agreement welcomes recommendations from the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues and decides to consider these recommendations in the development of a new program of work on the provisions of the Convention on Biodiversity relating to Indigenous peoples and local communities. However, the conference was criticized for the absence of world leaders in the negotiations, with ministers rather than leaders doing most of the negotiating. This led to some people saying that the Nature COP plays second fiddle to the Climate COP, COP26, for instance. The Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework represents a significant step forward in efforts to protect the planet's biodiversity and ensure a sustainable future for all living things.